In spite of having made itself a complete joke over the last few years, feminism somehow still has a stranglehold of young minds across America. It is a grasp so fierce that any logical mind can see it functions like a branding campaign. But before pink pussy hats and Asian sweatshop manufactured feminist slogans on t-shirts, there was Edward Bernays' Freedom Torches campaign. Edward Bernays was the nephew of Sigmund Freud, an Austrian-American pioneer in the field of public relations and propaganda. He was referred to in his obituary as the father of public relations. Dutch painters used cigarettes as a symbol of human foolishness in the 17th century, and in the 19th century, cigarettes were perceived as props of fallen women and prostitutes. Culturally, cigarette smoking was seen as a disgraceful habit for women to partake in. To the Lucky Strike Tobacco Company, this presented an inaccessible half of the population and a massive loss in potential profits. To expand numbers of women smokers, the tobacco company hired Edward Bernays. Bernays' plan was to eliminate the social taboo against women smoking in public. In 1929, Bernays decided to pay women to smoke their torches of freedom as they walked dressed as suffragettes in the Easter Sunday parade in New York. It was genius. Bernays carefully picked his female marchers, stating that while these women should be good-looking, they should not look like models. He hired his own photographers to make sure that the photographs were perfect, and they were soon published around the world. Feminist Ruth Hale was also hired to call for women to join in the march, saying, "Women, light another torch of freedom, fight another sex taboo." And this faux feminist campaign simply served as propaganda that found a new way to separate women from their money. For decades, Virginia Slims, a cigarette marketed directly at women, ran with the slogan, "You've come a long way, baby." Flash forward to the mid-2000s and we see that the times have changed, but the game remains the same. You might recall the feminist band Pussy Riot's arrest and the subsequent Free Pussy Riot hashtag. If we dig a little deeper, we can see that the series of events was created in a propaganda think tank just like its predecessors. The founding members of Pussy Riot were first brought together in the Russian radical feminist group known as Voina. They were created under the tutelage of their leaders, the charismatic Oleg Vorotnikov and the Charles Manson-like Oleksiy Ploster-Sarno. In one performance, the deranged masked feminists defiled the altar of a historic cathedral and began screaming that Putin is the Lord's and that Patriarch Kirill is a Kirill is a Russian Orthodox patriarch and is a strong supporter of Putin. He regards Putin as a miracle from God who saved Mother Russia from collapse and disintegration. 3 of the girls were captured and charged with hooliganism with the intent of inciting religious hatred. And in an obvious pre-planned cooperative effort, major American and European newspapers run the Pussy Riot story on their front pages. The globalist propaganda press portrays the girls as poor little innocent victims whose free speech has been violated. Madonna and many other high-profile gestures then take up the cause célèbre of Free Pussy Riot, and all of this was a clear and well-planned ruse to punish Putin for his nationalism and anti-globalist stances. Whatever your views on Putin are, this was a clear propaganda campaign. And of course, Voina, being a subsect of Femin, was soon after defunded by globalist sugar daddy George Soros for forming an Israeli branch. For a long time, feminism has not been a grassroots movement by women for women. Feminism, for quite some time now, has been a movement latched onto by globalists who use women as social, political, and financial weapons. But don't expect your average feminist to know any of this. If you want to see more from me and the rest of the Rebel team, like and subscribe.